Hi everyone, welcome back. Nicole here with Edge of Wild, and it's been a hot minute, but I'm back. I'm just in a season of my life where I'm really busy with things, not just in the garden, but trying to keep the garden flowing and sell the cut flowers, keep up with the job, and then 3 tiny kids. That's a lot to take on. But I still want to take some time to do a garden tour and go through the garden. I'm actually really proud of how it looks, just knowing all the things that I have on my plate and what I've been able to keep up and maintain in there. I'm pretty proud of it, so I want to show it off and have it on video just in case August goes awry. It's the end of July right now, so when the wild hot weather of August brings on some more weeds that I don't manage to keep up with, at least I did at one point. I'm going to start off just kind of showing you I'm going to stand directly in front of the strawberry towers that I have going. They look pretty good. We've gotten some fruit off of them, and not really to the fault of the plants. Apparently, I don't know if it's a chipmunk or a mouse or both, but they have decided that I'm growing all this stuff for them. So I've been dealing with that, to the point where I believe it was the chipmunk was taking the white berries off the plant. There wasn't a berry to be found because they had taken every berry off, either ate half of it or took a bite out of it and left it on the steps. At least wait till they're ripe, man. So strawberries look like they're bouncing back, they're coming back. But that said, I don't know how long till the chipmunk shows back up. I think he had kind of moved on, honestly, to my garden while he's waiting for those to ripen back up. But let's take a look and see how the garden looks. It is the harsh light of mid-morning because my morning was filled with other things. But I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get you to see everything in the garden, and then I have to attack some of the volunteer sunflowers. It is time for them to go. So here in the front, I have a volunteer yarrow and my volunteer caladiums that are looking good. I have a handful of sunflowers that are planted in and around them. That is one of the volunteer sunflowers that it is time to cut them out. I also have some volunteer dill up here. All these sunflowers look pretty good. There were some more of them, but as you can see, I have a couple of bare patches. It's because that same chipmunk that was eating the strawberries decided he should move on and start pulling all my seedlings out, because why not? So I have a couple of bare patches for sunflowers. I have some volunteer glads that are coming up, and I actually am getting glad flowers this year. And look at this. It's like black. I'm very excited. Very excited. A lot of volunteer sunflowers. The majority of them have flowered, so it is definitely time to cut them down. This is an earlier planting of sunflowers, and then an earlier yet planting of sunflowers. They're all starting to get their sweet little heads. None of them have flowered yet, so this is sunflower jungle. These are the ones I really need to come clean out. And while I could cut them and use them, like this one wouldn't be bad, but they all get wicked sticky in the middle. And these ones shed pollens and lose leaves really easily, whereas the pro cuts that I have planted here on purpose don't. I think all these came from other volunteer sunflowers, but they're starting to shade out some of the other flowers. I can't quite walk through, which is a problem. So we're going to chop them down here. Guess to look at this row. So you can see some of the sunballs down there. We'll get closer to them. And then my celosia is up and looking pretty good. My handful of asters, which I feel like I need slightly more than this asters, but not as many as I had last year. I still do really like these purple and then like the pink one over there that's coming in. I like those a lot. Phlox. This seems to be a good amount of phlox. I'm pretty happy with how the phlox has turned out. I did go through and like cut everything down again recently because there was a whole bunch, but they were very spindly and weak stemmed, so I went and trimmed a whole bunch out. It'll flush back with a whole bunch more growth. I have, is it Agerarium? Is that what this is? I'm pretty sure that's what this is. That volunteered like crazy, so I have a whole patch of where it was and then some that came up through. It's helping keep the weeds down, so I'm not arguing with it too much. This is stock that's all done blooming. I just honestly haven't pulled it because it was setting seed, and I was going to see if maybe the seed would be usable. This is all that Agerarium. And then their snapdragons are in here. Down there somewhere. I think they got choked out by the Agerarium. I've gone through and cut a whole bunch of the things, so like a bunch of the things just look like they're not here. There's a tomato plant that needs to be staked back up. Still haven't done great on tomato staking, trimming this year. Oh well. Snapdragons look pretty good, doing pretty good. This is I don't know what that is. It's a mutant. I have been getting tomatoes. So I have a handful of cherries. You can see there's a couple of them that are ripe down in there. So I've been enjoying those quite a bit. Just as snacks and in salads. And then my large tomatoes are looking pretty good. The San Marzanos have started to ripen. So I've been taking the tops off, coring them, and putting them in the freezer till I have enough. And then this is back on the other side. This is the pink aster. Beautiful. Celosia's getting good stem length on it. And these are the Curspedia. Just this little yellow ball. They dry like that too, which is fun. So I can use them in dried arrangements if I want. This is basil. This is the cinnamon basil. I think it just smells like basil. Like, I haven't found it to be very cinnamon smelling. This is Cosmos. I think they're all double clicks. I've had a couple that have flowered. The ones that have started to flower, they've kind of been more single-esque. But I think as the plant matures more, it'll become more doubles, more of the double click look. These are cucumber plants, and they are doing really, really well. I'm super excited about that. This is like my best cucumber year in like 5 years. It's been a long time since I've had cucumbers. Need to pull them back up onto the trellis a little bit, but so far looking good. This is the other end of the sunflowers. See, it's just like a little tunnel. Crazy. Here's where the garlic was. Pulled all of that out already. I have more cucumbers on that side. And then I have my glads that are looking really good. So far treating them with, was it Captain Jack's Dead Bug, which is a spinosad base, every 10 days has been working. I also think the diatomaceous earth helped. I don't think I've completely eradicated the problem. However, I think I've eased it, so enough that I'll actually get flowers. Because I mean, like, how can you not love these gorgeous gladiolus? I love them so much. I'm so excited. I have so many of them that are yellow. And then I almost think this white one's a volunteer too. Onions are looking really good. I went through and weeded those for another round, and I have been adding nitrogen and fertilizer to the soil so that they will grow huge. But like, some of these are the Walla Wallas. And look how big some of them are getting. And then I think down here more are the Pattersons. So they have not bulbed up anywhere near as large, but still looking really good. And then my very small handful of red onions. Peas, there are some peas. I probably need to come pick these and shell them before they're totally spent. And then I need to rip the plants out, honestly, and restart. I don't know if I can quite plant more peas yet, but I need to rip them out. Ripped out the radishes. They weren't going to do anything for me. They went right to seed the moment it got hot. Here's my status. This is the end of the status that is coming in the strongest, and this is the pastels mix. So it's got some of the apricot that's really pretty. Focus. There we go. And then just some purples and some pinks that are gorgeous. Some of this has shorter stems, and I'm not sure why, but I think it'll shape up. More peas that I could definitely come pull. I have a handful of beets down here. Some of these are like, they're just some tiny beets. I don't think they're ever going to turn into anything. And then I have beets over here that they look like they're almost could get away with pulling some. Yeah, probably really soon here. Same thing with these peas. There's a handful of peas around here. Peas is what the chipmunk has moved on to stealing. Whenever I see the life at the top, I'm always like, oh, but I could let it grow. But really, I just need to pull them out and restart. I think I could, the end of August maybe, sow another round of peas and get those. Here's my on its own tomato plant that's being drowned in Persian crest. There's another cherry tomato, and then Mountain Fresh was the other one. Try to hang this up here so that maybe it doesn't grow on top of that one. The Persian crest is great. I really like using it in arrangements. It definitely needs to be staked of some sort, so it worked well that I grew it on this side of the cattle panel. Pretty much you wait for it to grow all the way up, flower, and then you're using it more for like this kind of foliage. Horsefly. Ugh, bugs. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if the horsefly's gone, but he seems to have stopped bothering me. I have lemon basil over here. Not quite tall enough to start using stalks yet, but hopeful that pretty soon it will be. This is a dried up blue plurum. I think some of it's going to seed, so I was just kind of letting it hopefully go to seed here and self-seed. This is more blue plurum that I had planted. It's not quite ready to use. I tried cutting some the other day, or yesterday, but it completely wilted, so not ready yet. More lemon basil, still waiting on it to get enough growth to be able to use it. I have a handful of weeds in here I need to pull. Like, I see the morning glory. So hard to weed around the peas without pulling them all out. Potatoes, I think, are like partially ready to pull. Some of them have really started to die back. I don't want to dig around in potatoes without like proper footwear and probably some gloves, because I know there's a handful of snakes that live out here, which I appreciate because they help take care of some of the pests. However, I don't want to surprisingly meet one, but I'm pretty sure I could start pulling out of there and I'd have some lovely potatoes. Do I dare? I have also, like, see my wheat from using straw as mulch. I guarantee if I start digging around in here, I'm gonna find a snake. That's what I'm gonna find first. Long before I find a potato. So, I'm not going any further. I'm not brave enough. I'm not brave. Not brave enough. But yeah, so I have some lovely wheat crop going on here. I was going to let it dry down and see if I could use it for something. What? I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. this is just a whole chaos, is what this area is. So I have a volunteer yarrow, I have a volunteer Rebecca, which is the double, which is glorious. Then I have zinnias that I planted, because nothing else was planted here, / the beans that I planted here didn't take off. And then I have golden beans on that side, somehow thinking to myself that they were going to stay in check. They never do. I don't know why I thought they were going to. Also, the Japanese beetles have been annihilating them, because that did not look like that 2 days ago. There they are. Terrible. Terrible things. Terrible things. Seriously, best thing to do, just come out in the morning and at night and put them in a bucket of water. That's the only thing you can do, and I think it's the only thing that actually beneficially helps. I have tried to flop these beans off of these poor zinnias so that they don't get drowned out, but I don't know if that's gonna work. We'll see. First part is, like, we don't even eat that many beans. I don't know. Blue Plurum, also getting ready to go to seed, and I've just kind of been letting it, hoping to get more. I know it never has, like, the world's best germ rate. Then I have straw flowers over here. They're all looking really good. I've been using some out of here as well. I just love crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Love the crinkles. This is the status over here. The pink isn't doing as much as the purple, but I think that happened last year too. Purple moved faster than the pink. I also have volunteer potatoes in here. I like this one. This one's just about died all the way back. Oh, look at that. There's a potato. And there's a potato. They're the red ones. I'm going to cover them back up because I'm not going to remember to take them inside today. Okay. And then this is Brussels forest. One of them. I need to come through and snap leaves back off. You can see this one's forming up some really nice Brussels in there. See them in there? That's a Brussels. I'm excited about those. But yes, I need to come through and snap leaves off. I actually found if you snap the leaves off and then just lay them out wherever there's bare spots, they work as really good mulch. So that's what I've been doing with them. I have heavily been feeding those as well. Look at all the bees. I love the bees. This is Rebecca. A lot of this came back from last year. Like, I planted some new plants in here. I shouldn't have. A lot of it came back. I still will probably always start Rebecca plants, but I think it's borderline whether it'll reseed / be somewhat of a perennial, depending on how cold our winter gets. Next area. These are all delphiniums, which I don't 100% know why I have in here because I never use them for cutting because they're not the world's best cutting flower. I probably should move them. Don't know if that'll ever happen though. I also have Sweet Williams in here, or Dianthus. I cut back a lot of it because it was all half dead, so that way the plants would send up more shoots and I would have some new cuttings to take. Yarrow, this poor patch probably just needs like a buzzsaw, honestly, to go through and thin it out, because some of it, like, yes, some of these look nice, but like a lot of them are spent, like this one. A lot of those pink ones are. So if I cut them, they're not really good. Like, these ones look good from afar, and then you get up close and you're kind of like, those are spent. But like from afar, you're like, oh, those are pretty. Not quite anymore. Like, that's a pretty yellow one. That's gorgeous. I think that was a yellow one. So, kind of at a point where I need to come through and do a massive trim so that it would flush back with some more new stuff. These are all the doubles that came back last year of Rebecca's too. I had a lot more. It went all the way over to like there. And I planted more yarrow in there this year because I knew not as many of those had come back. This is my sea holly, Euryngum, is that right? That I have planted here. These are great. These are wonderful. They're almost overwhelming as to how to use them in a bouquet except for to use them as like a little center stalk. And while you can cut them, because like the blue ones have started to turn blue and everything, some of the little ones will still droop. But yeah, they make a huge like structural centerpiece. These are scabiosa or pincushion flowers. Oh, there's one that's starting to flower. It's just the very beginning, so I think they need some time to mature out, work out the kinks, but that'll be the first year with those, and they're supposed to be perennial. These are the green-centered Rudbeckia. I've been using them. They're a little shorter than I like so far, but I think with time they'll fill out. These are Rudbeckia. These like the double Goldilocks maybe. Oh wow, look at that one. See, I really like when they're like extremely light colored versus the darker. These are the ones that I got from Eden Brothers, the Goldilocks. They're good. They're smaller and fluffy. So like where the other ones that I had were big and fluffy, these ones are like a small fluffy, which work well in arrangements. I have feverfew. Some of it is spent and I need to cut it. Some of it is still just coming in. Oh, I think over here. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. This side of the garden definitely lacks nutrients. These are either Kajari or cantaloupe. I'm not sure which. I almost think Kajari. But they're growing here, doing their thing. We will see how long it takes them to take off. I think they like heat, so. And then these are also either Kajari or cantaloupe. These ones might be the cantaloupe. They look a little bit more like the cantaloupe. They are very small. I've been fertilizing them as well, but they are very small. I have volunteer poppies, because I have volunteer poppies everywhere. We'll go back around this side. And then these are all zinnias that are coming in. So this is the second planting of zinnias. They definitely were happy after I fertilized them, because again, this ground on this side is just so empty, not having had the compost on it from the goats and the chickens. But they're slowly coming, like right about here where the green ones are on that side. Those are the first planting, and you can tell that those are still really small versus when we look at the stuff on the old side of the garden that is all first planting, like way larger. The soil's been amended so much more, and it really shows. Still dealing with Japanese beetles on these, but I have been picking twice a day. It takes like 10 minutes or less. Just come through, pick off what I see. The more I do that, the less I seem to deal with. So while they are still present, terrible bugs, that seems to be helping. At least the most that I've ever had any kind of help. This is one of the orange ones. They're beautiful. Zinnias are always fleeting too. That's the thing that always makes me so sad about them. And I'm very proud. These light colored ones that I was talked into haven't proven to be a total mistake yet. I've been able to harvest some and use some. They've been really sweet. They're the Oklahoma series, so they're smaller versus the Benary's Giant. This is Benary's Giant, I believe Scarlet. And this pink is working out way better than the salmon was. Way better. I don't think I have any right now that are great examples of the cupcake or the Cinderella. And I have not noticed any of the cactus mix yet. Oh, this one would be. I think that's one of the Cinderella peach. Some of them are a little slower to take off into flowering than others, like the green ones always seem to come on really fast. This one is the Queenie Lime Blush. It's always so curious to me, like, same flower, same kind of flower, same kind of flower, same kind of flower. Totally different, like, designs, patterns. Zinnias are like the zebras of the flower world. Love them. Love them so much. And then, over on this side, this is like the one patch of weeds I just cannot keep up with. There's so much grass in there and it's so thick. I really think what I'm going to do is once these poppies have like are done, I'm just going to bring cardboard in and cover this spot and just like more or less shade it out. Because I had more poppies planted here, but the grass is just not worth it. And if I can get that grass killed off, that'd be great. This is more lemon basil, the citrus basil. Love that. The poppies have been going to town when it comes to producing and giving me seed heads. Look how good. Look at all the seeds on this one. That's nice. Wiggle those off. Dahlias. Dahlias have been coming in strong. I'm really happy. It looks like I have some of every color. Somehow, some way, surprisingly, which I'm really excited about. So I've got this orange, which I believe the Cornell Bronze is what it is. And then the darker purple and deeper red. That was all part of the mix. Some of them haven't flowered yet. Most of them have. There's another poppy. And then I have, what, 1, 2, 3 lilies left to flower yet. So those will be 3 that I'll get to use. But yeah, dahlias are looking good. I'm really glad I was able to plant them early. Like, I've been having dahlia flowers for about 3 weeks, which is great. For me, that is awesome. And then my mahogany splendor hibiscus down at this end, and then back up at the other half of this row. I have zucchini, which is doing good. I have a couple zucchini. I have 1, 2, might be ready to pick. I don't know. They always hide in there. I think there's 4 plants there total. Yes, it's more than I need. Yes, I am aware of that. Kale is dried down. I probably could pull off most of those. I don't need that many kale seeds. So that would probably be plenty, and then I could get rid of that. These are acorn squash down here, and they've started to set. They have started to set plants. There's fruit. This one, I mean, that's. Here we go. That is one of the fruits. I'm not sure still if it's butternut squash. What it is, we'll see. I don't know. I'm starting to see more fruit, so excited for that. Got that one growing up the trellis somewhat. Carrots are ready too. Carrots are lovely. Oh, it broke off. Always try to show something, it just doesn't work out. There's one little baby carrot. Now we have to go digging. I promise these carrots are great. Oh, it's in a really compacted spot. I'm not going to win with that one. Let's try over here. I've been pulling from over here. Let me see if I can find us a carrot. I'm not going to win. No carrots are going to get pulled out today. I'm just going to pull tops off. More dill. This is all volunteer dill. It's another one of my plants. I don't think it's happy down there. I don't think it's going to end up growing up the trellis, but maybe. We'll give it time. Cabbage, I've pulled most of the usable ones. There's a ton of grass growing in here, so this is one of the other weedy spots I just can't seem to get ahead of. And then there's kale in here. I have a whole bunch of celery. And then this is the other Brussels sprout forest. Also needs to go through and pull the leaves on this one off. Those are all baby Brussels. And then the reality is, this is a whole section of weeds I can't win. This is one area I cannot win. So what I've done, because I cannot win, is I kind of have given up on this spot. I have a plan that I'm going to put cardboard down and mulch it heavy. I'm going to double cardboard it and mulch it heavy, at least in the walkway area. And it's going to be wonderful next year. That's my plan. If I could get some more free wood chips, I would do it now. However, I can't seem to get any more at the moment, so we're not doing it right now. But that's a look of what's in the garden. Let's go out and look at the hillside, because I did mow the pumpkins the other day, or weed whacked around those. So you should be able to see them, likely. So gardening can be quite the beast. Like, you have all these plants in the spring, you put it all in, and then you try to keep up with the weeding, and then it gets hot, and then the harvest starts to come in. See, there is a zucchini I can pick up here. See, these are the things you learn. It's a lot. So don't feel like you have to keep up with all of it. Sometimes you do better than others. Like, I spent 2 solid weeks weeding everything because I was like, I need to get back ahead of this. And now I am. And am I going to fall back behind on weeding? Most likely. Am I going to worry about it too much? Not really. No. It'll all be fine. I'll still get a lot of production out of the garden. I already have gotten a lot of production out of the garden. And I'll plant some more stuff in the fall. So, it's been exciting to watch everything grow and come together. I have to watch where I'm walking because I don't mind snakes. I don't like being surprised by them. So, watching where I'm going. But over here on the hillside, I've done little to nothing. I put a little bit of extra hay that we happen to have around down. And I think I've weed whacked the pumpkins twice. I haven't watered anything in a while because have we got rain? Let me tell you, we got rain. We've had well over 6 inches of rain in July alone. We don't need any more water. They're good. Fertilizer. I have come out and fertilized the pumpkins once, I think. So, let's take a look. Alright. So, though it just looks like, grass, there is potatoes way up there. Somewhere in there, there's beans, there's black beans. Pumpkins you can kind of see. And then over here I had the sweet potatoes. So, this is one of the sweet potato plants. We will see if they turn out to be much. No idea. I am not going to try to keep up with weeds and everything here. I have found the deer in here eating the sweet potato plants. So, I didn't think they would. But they are. Pumpkins have looked pretty good. They are definitely nowhere, like, one down there is big. That is it. Otherwise, none of them have, like, overly taken off. But they haven't all given up, so we'll see. I know these ones are little gourds. I don't even know what's down around here. I know the very far end's the big ones. That's about all I know. So things have started to flower. Hopefully they set fruit pretty soon. We'll see. Again, this is more of an experiment for fun and less of, like, I need to get something out of here. Like, I think that one's struggling, but so is everything around it. So it makes me think, like, there's not as much good stuff in the soil. But they are all flowering, so that's half the battle. First it must flower before it can set fruit. Then it has to hopefully live past all the other pressures. And then here, can you kind of see them? Here are the black beans. Now, the deer have done a wonderful job of keeping them mowed, as you can tell. But I do have some beans lower down. And I think there's enough here that I'll manage to get something out of it. If nothing else, I know that black beans grow relatively well and work for decent deer food plot. So there's that. But they've done pretty good so far, because I have done absolutely nothing for them other than put them in the ground. And then up there are potatoes. I don't know if I dare walk up there or attempt to walk up there. I guess I'll try it. Grass is really tall here. But yeah. So I did mulch them with some straw too. That helps keep the weeds down quite a bit. But these ones are also at a point, if I was desperate, I could dig some out of here if I really wanted. But I don't think I'm quite there yet. These ones are planted almost a month. No, well, maybe only 2 weeks. 2-3 weeks after the other ones. So I will give them a little bit of extra time compared to the ones in the garden. But I definitely have some that are already in the garden. So that's exciting. Alright, I stomped my way back up to mowed grass because then I don't have to... I can see the snakes then. They also don't usually hang out in the mowed grass quite as much. Everything's looking pretty good overall. More or less. I will say the blueberries, whatever blueberries were on there, as they turned blue, the birds ate them because birds are terrible. And if the birds hadn't ate them, I'm sure the chipmunk would have. The plants look pretty good. They look a little stressed, but I don't know. Here, I'll show you. See, they look a little stressed. I don't know how they'll bounce out of that. Guess it's all kind of a learning experience. This one looks pretty good. I don't know if it's just the soil. First year shock. Could be first year shock. We'll see how they come back next year. That'll be the real test. Alright, back in the shade. So that's a tour of the garden here as we finish out July. I hope everything in your garden's going wonderful. I hope you're enjoying your time. You're not getting overly stressed out about the weeds or all the harvest. A lot of stuff is freezable, so like I know you want to learn to can. A lot of stuff is freezable, and quite honestly, I get more use out of it frozen. So I freeze a lot of stuff. That definitely helps take a lot of the stress off it, because it's easier to prep, blanch, and freeze than it is to take the time to can. Wash all the things that go along with that. So like there might be a hot tip for you is figure out freezing indoor freezer space. Otherwise, everything's going well. Flowers are coming in. The flower stand is open. I've been selling flowers every weekend. I've had a couple events that I've done. That's been nice to do. Everything's been good. Everything's been good. So I hope everything's been going well for you. I will try to catch up with you sooner than this last time. But if life gets busy, it gets busy. I hope you're out there enjoying it. I hope you're staying cool in the heat. Until next time, have a good one.